Good afternoon and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin.
And I'm Sandra Priestley. Welcome to the podcast and happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
I am drinking from my Driven by Gratitude mug, and I'm
Yes.
drinking decaf black coffee.
Ah,
I didn't have coffee this morning and I missed it. So, coffee in the PM it is.
there you go.
Mhm.
Well, I am drinking out of my Vortex mug
I
and
love it so much.
I went to the chamber luncheon today and so I had tea that I brought back
Nice.
and I had it in a cup that was just very boring. And I saw my mug and I was like, "Oh, I'll just use my mug."
I need to buy myself one. I
Yeah.
love it.
Because I'm feeling in the vortex, but I would say this is probably the small one. If
Mm,
if I had it to do over again, I would get the bigger one.
nice. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what you want to talk about. But
Girl.
I'm going to go back. I feel like we talked the episode that just released, it was about like different points of view and religion and things.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to the gym now.
Hmm.
Another big step for me. And I
Okay.
used to be a gym rat. I love the gym, but I just got out of the habit of it.
Yeah.
And so I'm at the gym. And interestingly, when I'm at the gym, I listen to podcasts.
Hmm.
And I never used to. I used to like the music. I used to like upbeat country or whatever, like something to get me in the vibe. But like lately, I've been into like hot girl walks and hot girl and really like elevating every bit of myself. And so even though that's fun, I feel really inspired by listening to podcasts while I'm at the gym now.
Sure.
So I was listening to one with I always say his name wrong, but Alex Hermosi and Tim Bilyeu, big multi-million dollar entrepreneurs. And Tim, is it Tim? No, I'm
You're like, do I have it right?
shoot. I think it's that. I think that's his name. Anyway, he was being interviewed. And what he said was so good. He said, no matter what side of the political spectrum you are on,
Hmm.
and I thought political, religious, doesn't matter.
No.
When there is huge divide, everyone is like pissed off and, like mad that there's division in amongst the country
Hmm.
or the world or whatever. And he said, I embrace that. And he said, the reason that he embraces it is because when there is extreme division
Hmm.
and when people get loud, the truth seems to come together because you're hearing both sides of the story. You see not only the people that believe what you believe, but you see the people that believe the complete opposite of what you believe.
Right.
And so what happens is you get this more balanced view and it comes back to the center, which I thought,
That
oh,
feels good.
it feels good, doesn't it? Instead of like all of the political bullshit that's happening
Yeah.
in between our countries and within our countries, it feels more empowering.
Yeah.
And I thought about my friend who she is a teacher. She's been a teacher for 30 years.
Hmm.
And a few years ago, she was tasked to teach religious studies. She's in a Catholic school division, and she was teaching religious studies. And I said, so what do you teach in religious studies? And she's like, shit, we teach everything. Like there's so many bits of each religion that are so interesting to her. But initially, the way she was raised Roman Catholic. And so all she knew was that.
Right.
And I thought, in this way, like, how impressive if you thought about immersing yourself in someone else's religion.
Yeah.
When I was in grade 8, I just switched schools to go to the junior high, and the girl that I was sitting next to was Jehovah's Witness.
Hmm.
I had no clue.
Yeah.
Never, I came from a tiny little rural elementary school. I'd never heard about Jehovah's Witness religion other than the people that had come to my door.
Hmm.
And so I was really opened up to, oh, I know so much more now, right? But I thought, I love this. I love this idea of like seeing someone else's point of view as not wrong, but just a point of view, and then challenging what we think
Yeah.
so that we can have a little bit more balance, you know?
Well, and then it helps us to understand them
Yeah.
because
What's
we
like your challenge that you did, right?
the
You
connection
shared your-
challenge. Yes.
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 Hmm.
Same thing. When you start recognizing religion as just a person's way to connect to the universe, to God, to that's how they experience the connection. It's not wrong.
No.
There's not one way. There are how many billions of people on the planet? There is not one way.
Yeah.
We're all so different. We need different ways to connect. But it's this idea that my way is right
Hmm.
and everyone needs to comply and believe my way. That's that's when it gets ugly and gross.
And I think if someone else believes something that I don't, it's like I need to prove them wrong to prove myself right. It's this fucked up thing that we think, right? But both can be true. Like I try to live like both can be true because
Yeah.
what you believe is true for you and what I believe is true for me. And once we get to the place where we can just seek understanding,
Yeah.
sometimes we might change those agreements.
Yeah. For sure.
Sometimes, or even just less judgment
Hmm.
on people who think differently
Hmm.
than us, right? But
Yeah.
I just thought, man, because there's on social media, like, holy shit, if I see one more political post, it's like so polarizing and
Hmm.
in Canada too. And I just thought, and it felt so heavy. And so when I heard him say that, now I got to make sure his name is right. But when I heard him say that he embraces that, I thought, oh, what a lighter feeling thought.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
feels so much lighter.
Well, and it feels hopeful.
Yeah, yeah. I loved it. Anyway, okay. That was
Ah,
my that was my immediate thought. I just had to blurt it
yeah.
out.
Yeah. And interesting, this morning I got up and I was getting ready. I had a little bit of extra time and something inside was like, turn on YouTube TV or YouTube and see what pops up. Because Abraham is always the first. Peter Crone's on there. Hertz Music's on there. Joe Dispenza will be on there. And I've been listening to Napoleon Hill.
Oh yeah.
But I haven't listened to him in a bit. It's been probably a couple of weeks. But I turn on this, you know, that prayer that says, thank you.
Oh, the Hopo'opono.
I don't know how to say that. Opono?
Hopo'opono, I
Okay. A
think.
girl that did Spinal Flow on me earlier this week, that song, and I'll send it to you. There is a song of it on YouTube. And
Wow.
so I thought, okay, I'm seeing this up here because the universe is saying, listen to this.
Yeah.
So I sit in bed and I'm listening to it and just sort of feeling it. And then the next song comes on. And the playlist that follows that song is just like, oh, I mean, it feels amazing to the point Paul gets out of the shower and he's like, what are you listening to? It feels amazing in here.
Oh,
And yeah, and so I soaked it up for 20 minutes or so. And then it was like, you can soak it up while you do some things around the house or in the bedroom. Because I needed to clean the bedroom and hang up some clothes and just kind of mop and get all of that stuff done. Because I had
you'll
time.
have to put the link in the show notes.
Okay, yeah, I'll do
Like
that.
I'm listening to you speak and I'm like, all I've got going on in my head is I've got to listen to this. I've got to listen to this.
Yeah, it will move you. But
Wow.
so then something says, okay, see what else you can watch or which you can physically watch after I'm getting all the stuff clean. And Napoleon Hill's on. And that was mind blowing because he's talking about the mental rehearsal that we need to do. Like, we have to mentally rehearse the kind of day we're going to have, the kind of money we're going to have, the kind of people we're going to meet. We need to start rehearsing, because what happens is what we're rehearsing is fear and doubt and judgment. That's what is playing on repeat.
Yeah.
And listening to this, what did he said? Auto suggestion is vital, because what repetition is the language of the subconscious.
Oh,
And I went, when we are watching the news and listening, that is just suggestion. And the more you hear something, the more you accept it as truth. And I
yes.
thought, that's what we have all, as a country, as the world, we have been hypnotized because we keep hearing the same thing over and over. And so, while those that might be opposed or offended by certain rhetoric,
Yeah.
we block that out. But the people that aren't, take it in and let that wire their brains. Now, we're programmed by a whole different thing, and everyone's programmed by something.
Yeah.
But fuck, what if we decided to program ourselves and stopped taking in all of this scary, fear-based rhetoric? Because once we're living in fear, we're operating on fight or flight. This girl that I watch, I think her name is Jen. I don't know her last name. I don't know, like, it doesn't say it. She's on TikTok, she's on Facebook. She's so cute.
Oh,
But she's a metaphysical kind of a teacher, and she'll do drawings of like your body, and then if you're feeling this way, you've got this negative energy, and she really is about your energy. And this morning, the video that pops up was talking about when you think, I've got to save money, I've got to save my money, I've got to save my money, so I can't invest in this. Because one thing she's got going in green, and I'm going to spend the money, and I'm going to work with the mentor, I'm going to do the things so I can learn and elevate and grow. And she's on the other side is this one that's like, I'm going to save all my money and I'm not going to spend, and I can do it myself. And she says, then you have the same mindset because you hang around people that are thinking the same thing you do. Let's save money, let's do it ourselves. And y'all sit and tell the same story after same story after same story, and you never elevate. But if you would just invest in yourself, you get the ideas. You're around people with elevated ideas and beliefs and you don't know what you don't know. And I'd never heard it put that way before. But I thought, yeah, it's like going back to where I grew up 30 years later. Those people are the same. They're still bitching about the same things, having the same fights with the same people and the same struggles. And it's like, oh, thank God I got out. Like, I would be in there with you if I
exactly.
hadn't. But I think we forget that. We forget, not that we have to leave everything behind, but we gotta have people in our lives that inspire and elevate us if we want to
Yeah.
grow.
I had heard a quote one day, and it was something about, I'm not here to make you comfortable. I'm here to make you better, or
Yeah,
I'm here to challenge you, or something like that. Like if
yeah.
I'm a good friend, I'm not going to sit back and let you just be comfortable in your own bullshit.
Hmm.
Like if I will challenge you. And I have had friends in the past who wouldn't do that. But then that keeps me small. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
recorded a podcast the other day, and it was not something that I normally would do. So I asked this coach, who's a friend of mine, listen to this podcast and tell me what you think. So she's listening to it and she comes and she goes, okay, this is going to sound harsh and being really picky. And I'm like, no, it's not picky. I want brutal honesty. I want
Yeah.
to know, do I sound preachy here? Do I sound pushy here? Do I sound too relaxed here? Is this not making sense? I mean, I wanted it to be, because I want it to be better. I want to be better. I don't want to be the same.
Hmm.
But wow, we can hold ourselves back by the people that we are around or
Yeah.
that we listen to, and the things that we tell ourselves, and the things that we're hearing from other people. I was thinking as you were talking about COVID and how when everyone was listening to the news, there was
Mhm.
a few sentences that they would say on the news all of the time. And all of a sudden, everyone was saying those same sentences, like those same terms, right?
Hypnotize the whole planet.
Right. And it
Yeah.
was like, it's science, right? It's science. That was one of the things that I remember people saying, it's science, because I could hear it in a friend's voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was always on the news too. And then it was like, stay home, stay safe. And those sentences were interesting because they were being said on the news all the time, all day long, every day. And then you'd be in the lineup of the grocery store paying with your mask on. And that's what was being said by the person at the till.
Yeah.
Stay home, stay safe. Like, good luck, stay safe, wash your vegetables. And it was like it was like brainwashing or hypnotism, but like, and I mean, not intentionally, but that's what it sort of comes across
Because
like,
it
right?
was over and it was that repetition over and over. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine when what you're saying to yourself or your friends are saying is this negative stuff over and over again. And how can your life be different if you repeat something that you want every day?
Yeah. You don't believe it at first, right?
Yeah, you don't.
That's bullshit. That just like when you hear something for the first time on the news or whatever. Oh, that's bullshit. But the more you hear it, and so the more you talk to yourself, the more that's your belief system. So I have a belief system that I'm always in the right place at the right time, that
Mhm.
things always work out for me, and that I don't really have to worry about much because the universe takes care of everything. Like all the behind the scenes things that I might not know about or see or surprises, they already know and it's already done. And so I got to put that to the test. You don't know about this.
I'm so excited.
So I walk in to the office and I've got all my stuff in my hands and like, good morning, Stephanie. And before I can even get by her desk, she's like, I need to talk to you. And I said, what's up? She goes, we made a decision. We had a meeting this weekend and we're shutting this place down. Okay. Within 10 seconds, my first response was, what the fuck? I just quit my job and moved in here. And then that's my first thought. And then I hear, but you know, things always work out for you.
Hmm.
So why are you worried? Okay, I
Yeah.
guess I'm not worried. So then I was able to say, let me put my stuff in my office and come back and talk to you. So I ran in here and put my computer and purse down and went back in there and I'm like, well, what does this mean for you? And she's like, I don't know. For the first time in my life, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm like, ah, oh, you're in the unknown. You're sitting in the unknown. That is where all the magic happens. And we
When
talked
you embrace it, when
when
you embrace it
yeah,
and
when you know there's nothing to
not
be
resist it.
fearful of. Now, personally, I think she's crazy because I have seen the shifts in her and the shifts here because they were slow. She didn't tell me this until I physically got here. She never thought, or she never said anything about them shutting, but she would tell me, yeah, we're slow. And I'm like, well, you got to mark it. No one knows you're here. And so from where I'm sitting, I'm thinking, you're going to let this go. Like this is getting ready to explode because now people know you're here. You're meeting all of these like-minded people that want to come in here and bring people in here for workshops, and like the potential is unlimited, but it's not my path.
Yeah.
So I can say that all day long, but she's got to know it and want it and be in it.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, oh God, I need to business coach her because she should be able to quickly turn this around. Like just,
Well, oh yeah, and it was already turned around. And what's interesting, she told me yesterday, she said, as soon as I made the decision, everybody has stopped coming. I'm not getting, and I'm like, because you made the decision. And it stunned her when I said that. But it was like, yeah, when you say, I'm good, don't send anybody else to me, I'm done. The universe says, okay. But I do hate it for her, but I know she's got someone in her ear
mm,
that lives in lack and fear. And when you've got one foot in fear and one foot in faith, fear's going to win. You've got to solidly plant yourself in. And that was what Napoleon Hill was saying this morning. He didn't say burn the boats. What did he say? Burn your plan B. Same
oh,
thing.
yes.
He's like, if you've got an out, then you're not going to be 100% invested. You have to be all in. And no, rehearse it in your mind every day. But it has given me a place to get excited because I love this office. Like, I love this office. I love my door that goes outside. I love the vibe in here. But it's like, well, what is coming? Because I know if I love this place and the universe, because I feel like I had to come here. Because now, if I had known her situation, I wouldn't have. But here's what that would mean. That would mean that I would have been stuck where I was at.
Mhm.
And this was a way to get me, come on, coax me over. Come on over here. So that I could realize what I could do. So that then moving to the next thing wasn't so scary. And in my life cycles book, when I was reading it, it said where you start your new journey in January is not necessarily going to be where you end up at the end of the year. And I remember reading it going, no, 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 no.
Well, because you're not thinking physically, you're thinking the business, right? Like you start your
For a minute,
business
I thought
journey.
physically. That was the
Yeah. Oh,
first thing that
really?
popped in my head because it scared me
Oh,
because I was like, no, 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 no.
yeah.
But I think this was just to ease me in, to show me it is safe. And I went to the chamber today to the luncheon, and I was talking to one of my girlfriends. I do have the most badass, supportive girlfriend. I'm talking to my friend Sharon, and I just went over there to hug her and her husband, and she starts going, "How are you doing? And what's going on?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, here's my chance to tell someone." Because I haven't announced anything yet. So I told her what was going on, and she started to get mad, like, why didn't they tell you this? And I said, no, 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 no. I I was supposed to go there. I said, and the right space is going to pop up. It is going to work out beautifully, and I'm not concerned. I have it till June.
Right.
I've got some time, but I'm just not concerned because I know in the same way that this just poof opened up for me, the next thing will. So at the end of the meeting, she comes and grabs me. You need to go talk to Levi. I've talked to him. He knows somebody. I'm like, of course he does. On the way back in, I was just like, I've got all these helpers, all of these people ready, the universe, and then the human ones too. It was a moment that I went, look at where you're at. Because that walking in would have sent me in to a tailspin 6 months ago, a year ago. I lost my shit. Instead, I was able to come in here and work all day and go home. And I'm working on our podcast and I'm sitting there thinking, this doesn't need to be the end. She's got 3 months that she's going to be here. What she could do in 3 months would be life changing. So I just do a business plan. I start doing the math on what she needs to make and how many people need to be in here for this to be a profitable business. It's not a lot. And with me in here, and then there's Holly in here, and all these new workshops that people are now wanting to come do in here, would open them up to new memberships, plus just renting out the facility. And so in my head, I was like, oh, I'm just going to go tell her this tomorrow. And I'll help her. But like, this is totally doable. 3 months to see. And if in 3 months it's not what you thought it would be, shut the doors. But give it your all for 3 months. And so I was all like fired up, ready to go. And I came in and I'm like, 3 months, you can do so much. She's like, Leigh, it's done. It's over. Just completely gave up the dream. And I'm thinking, if I was paying this kind of rent for this space, I would be doing anything, like any thought that popped in my head, getting help from anybody willing. So I don't know what that's about. And then it was like, all I could hear was, it's not your journey and it's none of your business.
Shit. I heard that same message the other day when I was talking to a client. This is her journey. Like, back the hell off, Priestley.
Yeah.
That's so.
But when you can see it,
I
you
know.
can see it and smell it and taste it and touch it, like it's right here. And you just want them to see it so much. But if it's not their journey, it's not their journey. And that's okay, because I don't know what is in store for her and what all of this will teach her. I mean, she's not in a place of knowing that the universe is conspiring in her favor.
Right.
And I remember when I wasn't there, I remember you 3 years ago going, you need to leave. Like, you need to go. I could not have done that then because my mind couldn't conceive it yet. I couldn't believe it. And it hit me. You were there once too.
Oh, totally.
Not you, but I was talking to myself.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I was there.
Well, and me too. Like, it took me years to have the courage to leave my 6-figure-a-year job.
Yeah.
It took me
But
years to leave it, like to get ready to leave it.
but isn't it interesting that when you do, you see how easy it was and how you could have made that shift in a millisecond instead of waiting 5 years to go, oh, maybe this is possible. I think this could be possible. Okay, I think I'm ready to jump, but shit, this is scary. After you do it,
Yeah.
you're floating in the water going, what the fuck took you so long?
I know.
But I think we're out of time. Pretty
Yes.
sure.
Fun.
So thank you so much, Sandra. This was